The topic that I have, or what I'll be deliberating today, is very important, no doubt, but this is of a very recent advent. This was not there in the times when we were doing our PhDs. It was not a concern at all. And at times we wondered why, Indian research is not considered at par with the international standards. And that became apparent when this plagiarism and plagiarism detection came into being. It was very easy to find out that how much of the text that we have written is same, similar, or copied, or plagiarized. And that basically told us that most of the things that we were writing was plagiarized. This was disheartening and depressing as well. But then I started thinking, is there a difference? And yes, there is a difference. Difference between same, similar, copied, plagiarized, quoted, and other forms. And the most important part is that from research or from thesis, it is imperative that you be original. Now, what does that mean? And in order to, tackle all these issues, I have woven a presentation which I'll be sharing with you. And this is a sincere hope from my side that it helps you in writing more original content and to be, safe from future harassment. And when I say this is unfortunate, but as is true with all the other things, Indians have a very nasty tendency of utilizing anything as a weapon. People have already started utilizing plagiarism as a weapon, and this is used to settle scores. So you be very careful with whatever publications you are taking out, whatever theses are being submitted under your supervision, or even if it is your own thesis, you'll have to be very careful. And for it is easier said than done. That be careful. And how do I be careful? So these are the things that I'll be covering today, and I sincerely hope that this becomes useful to you, not only for the present, but also in your future pursuits. So let me start. Just give me a second. Let me start my presentation. So is the presentation visible to you all?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Right. That's nice. So this is what we are talking: plagiarism and its detection. So and for those who are already aware of what plagiarism means, it can seem to be a little redundant, but for most of the other young people, this will definitely be very useful. All right, so what is plagiarism? And I have chosen a couple of definitions because, if you try to read the whole UGC regulation, it becomes overwhelming. So what I have done is I have only taken up the sections which are, which should be take home for that matter. So this is a definition which is from Bella Gipp, is a well-known academician. And she says the use of ideas, concepts, words, structures. So these are four things that we are talking about: ideas, concepts, words, and even structures, without appropriately acknowledging the source to benefit in a setting where originality is expected. Now, what is the setting where originality is expected? Anything which is above and beyond masters, including masters' dissertations, is the place where originality is expected. Fine. Now, what we are talking about up till now, for most of us, it is only the sentences that we are talking about. So it's not only the sentences. Even if the idea is copied, it is plagiarism. If the concepts are copied, it is plagiarism. Set of words, yes, that we already are aware, and even structures. But we should add a couple more, which I'll be adding in the next definition. So these are the things that if you're using them, you need to acknowledge it. You need to give proper credits. Now, what is meant by that? What is a credit? Academician kya credit de dega? Businessman can give credit in form of money, but what does academician hold? It is only very simple things. It is citation. Dr. Goswami just told everybody about my citations, and that is, what my earnings are. That 2,500, whatever it is, that is my earning. That 2,500 people have utilized my research, they have cited it, they have utilized it, that is my earning. I have one gentleman who will be, participating in your FDP later on. He has like, a huge amount of citations. So that is, he's richer than me. And that is what academicians have. So it is about citing them. It is about giving appropriate references that we should be worried about. Now let us go on to the next definition, which I have taken from Stanford. Now, before we go any further, I'd like to declare here that parts of this presentation is from IIT Kharagpur. It was made by librarian Dr. Sutradhar. So only part of it is from him. And this is my way of giving him citation that he has done a good job. So, there is no point in reinventing the wheel. He has done a very good job, and I'm utilizing some of his slides. He has also utilized some of the slides from the Turnitin website. I'm not sure whether he has acknowledged it or not, but I'm 100% sure I need to acknowledge it, because I do not want to present a lecture on plagiarism by plagiarizing. So Stanford defines plagiarism as the use without giving reasonable. No, this is slightly tricky. And appropriate credit to or acknowledging the author or source of another person's original work, whether such work is made up of code, formulas, ideas, language, research strategies, writing, or any other form. So you need to put focus on the ones which I have underlined. You'll have to give reasonable and appropriate credit. So secondary citations are not very well. That means if for those science, or those who are in biology at least, Laurie et al. 1952 is a paper for protein estimation. Now this has been utilized by millions of papers. So what you can do is, you can, instead of citing Laurie, you can cite a secondary utilization, but that is not appropriate. That is what reasonable and appropriate credit is. So you'll have to give credit to the original work. And what that original work can be, it can be a computer code, it can be a formula, it can be an idea, it can be anything. All right. So let us move further. Now, UGC has also taken cognizance about this, and it has created a regulation, and wherein it has further simplified the whole concept of plagiarism by saying plagiarism simply means practice of taking someone else's work or idea and passing them as one's own. This is so simple, and this is, in my opinion, what people should remember. That if you are writing something from some source, you'll have to give credit, and if you do not, you are plagiarizing. Isse aasan, isse simple ho hi nahi sakta. And what UGC says is, it is not only the responsibility of the individual, but of the HEI, that is Higher Education Institution, to adapt the use of PDS, that is plagiarism detection software, which we'll be talking about, and check documents which are submitted to HEI. So which documents are we talking about? We'll definitely discuss that as well. So what are the issues? So the most important issues is, now we are, initially we had only one Urkund account. So it was centralized. But now UGC has given number of accounts, and each individual supervisor has access to this PDS. We are currently using Orkun. But does not matter whether you want to use Orkun or any other, there's no problem. But the point of telling you all this is, it is the responsibility of the supervisor to check dissertations. It can be theses, it can be PhD thesis, MPhil thesis, or master's thesis, and you'll have to certify. And until unless the certificate is there, it's not accepted. So the question is, what happens to the articles that you have published in your course of study? We'll talk about that. Methods are generally, what is already established in the domain. Those are used because you are, looking for something which is certified, which is like dependable. So that is why materials and methods section is there. And in materials and methods section, everything is already known, already published. How do I do that? Then there are formulas which are used. Then there are standard notations, like in case of statistical null hypothesis, there is a way of writing null hypothesis. Null hypothesis is that there is no significant difference between the treatments given. So that is the way it is written. So the individual, the overall sentence will remain the same, but only a part of it will change. So how do I tackle that? Because, you must understand that the software is not a human being. It is using AI, but it's not a human being. The job of the software is to fetch similarity. This point you should be very clear with, that the software will only indicate similarity, not plagiarism. It cannot tell you whether the document is plagiarized or not. It will only tell you if the document has similar content and what is the source with which it is similar. That is what it does. Now, this is an issue which UGC has not been able to solve. So individual institutions need to develop a mechanism. So far as Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya is concerned, we have allowed it. How can you not allow your own publications? Well, there is a counter argument to that as well. That once you sign the copyright transfer agreement, it no longer remains a property of yours. Although you are the author, but it is no longer your property. So how can you be, how can you bear injustice to that publishing house? But then, since there is nobody complaining, we have allowed it that articles which the individual has published will allow similarity from that. Materials and method, we are not lenient at all. You'll have to give references for that, and it needs to be properly documented as well. Same with formula. So for standard notations and procedures of reporting are concerned, we'll have to look into it. That means if it is not 100% same, the figures cannot match, the exact lines cannot match, the way of writing, the way of notation can be same. So that is the point where, the administrator comes into place, where the supervisor comes into place. He'll have to certify that this is the way of writing the results, and that is why it should not be considered as plagiarized, but it should be considered as only similar and hence excluded. So this is how we are solving the issues. Now, all right, let us not get into this. So the main objective is to create awareness, to establish an institutional mechanism, and to develop systems to detect plagiarism. So to create awareness, this FDP itself fulfills that objective. That after this FDP, at least you will be aware that plagiarism नाम की एक चिड़िया है जो खतरनाक है और आप लोगों को इससे सावधान रहना. So far as to establish the institutional mechanism is concerned, your university must have already implemented. You can subscribe to any of the plagiarism detection software from your own side, or you can get the InfibNet Orkun. So this will help you and your staff and your teachers to produce things which are original. So this is again the part of same, and the setup mechanisms to prevent plagiarism and punish. This is already given in the regulation, so need not worry about it. You will only have to follow it up. So what contents needs to be checked under the guidelines? The research papers, very important. अब तो API का जमाना है, Without APIs, nothing will move forward. So there's always was pressure, and now that pressure has also increased. fact now publish ही नहीं करना है, UGC केयर में publish करना है, और UGC केयर में आपकी स्ट्रीम के ज्यादा जर्नल्स हैं। वाले भी यही कहते हैं, I don't know किसका उसमें। So the simplest way of publishing good research papers is to look for SCI, Science Citation Index में listed हो, popular जो आपके publishing house जैसे Springer है, NPG है, Nature Publishing है, but these are for a lot of you this might be only of aspirational value because research का output और quality is based upon the facilities you have. इसीलिए हम इंडिया को यूएस से कंपेयर नहीं करते, उनके पास जो फैसिलिटी है और हमारे पास जो फैसिलिटी है उसके बाद भी आप आउटपुट कंपेयर करते हैं तो वी आर मच बेटर. But anyways, that is not a point of discussion here. So research papers needs to be checked for similarity and plagiarism. Thesis is very important for PhD thesis. MPhil is now redundant, not talking about it, but masters. For management, your, what do you call them? MRP, right? For management streams, it is MRP. For other masters, it is dissertation. These needs to be checked. If you are publishing chapter in books, this is again a good API source, very important. Any other similar work, if you are writing full-fledged work, if you are writing any other dissertation, white papers, policies, very important. I was amazed that even government of MP has started getting its documents checked for plagiarism. अब आप imagine करके देख लीजिए, the government इसमें seriously अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स चेक कर रही है, तो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट दिस माइट बी. देन व्हाट शुड नॉट बी चेक्ड? जो असाइनमेंट आप स्टूडेंट्स को दे रहे हैं, देयर इज नो नीड. डिपेंड करता है इफ यू आर लाइक अ वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट टीचर. एंड आई रिमेंबर वन ऑफ द असाइनमेंट्स व्हिच आई गॉट इन IIT. One of my professors, he said, he gave me a topic and said, gave to the whole class and said, write something which I do not know. This was a kind of assignment. And after burning many midnight oils, most of the assignments were thrown off by simply a one-liner, "Ye mujhe pata hai." You can imagine. And in my case, only one line was there, which he said, I don't remember whether I have read this. So I got 1 out of 20. So that kind of originality is also expected in certain areas. Then term papers need not be checked. Project reports, they need not be checked. Courseworks for PhD coursework and others. If you're writing some essays and even the answer scripts, these are not required to be checked because these are basically to test your knowledge. This is not for originality. यहाँ तो originality का कोई requirement नहीं. All right. So what can be excluded from plagiarism? This is very important. This slide probably is the most important slide of the whole lecture, I guess. So whatever work is quoted, that means which is under quote and which has been taken verbatim. When we say verbatim, मतलब just जैसा source में है, वैसा का वैसा यदि आपने utilize किया है, so that is what should be quoted. It should be put under quotation marks and reference given. And when you do that, when you utilize something in a verbatim form, you need to apply for permission and activation. Without this, this is not allowed. This applies for figures, pictures, tables, and any other source that you're utilizing. All right. So this also, opens up a Pandora's box that if there is something under quotes that needs to be excluded, right? Now, what people do is, this is a monkey trick which people have adopted. My small question to all of you is, एक quote कितना बड़ा हो सकता है? How long can be a quote? कितना बड़ा एक quote, quotation एक कितना बड़ा हो सकता है?
I request everyone to kindly write your answers in the chat box.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Just, I would like to see your opinion. कितना लंबा हो सकता है कोटेशन? ऑनलाइन का यही एक दिक्कत है शायद, आपको मालूम नहीं पड़ता if people are really attending or they have logged in and gone away. Appears so. One liner, 5 to 8 words, paragraph. चलिए 3 लोग तो डेफिनेटली हैं, आई एम श्योर नाउ, बाकियों का पता नहीं. Tell me one thing, how many of the participants are from Varanasi only? Many or few?
Sir, we had a total of 232 registrations. Out of that, I guess 60 to 70 of them are from Varanasi, just out of India.
ओ चलो ठीक है, फिर बनारस वालों से वैसे पंगा नहीं ले सकते, खतरनाक लोग हैं, और प्रधानमंत्री की होम कंस्टिट्यूएंसी वालों से तो बिल्कुल ही पंगा नहीं ले सकते. ऑलराइट, सो वी हैव गॉट द हाईएस्ट, जो सबसे बड़ा आपको मिला है लेंथ, दैट इज अ पैराग्राफ, राइट. नाउ माय क्वेश्चन इज, हु स्टॉप्स यू फ्रॉम कोटिंग एन एंटायर थीसिस? मैंने पूरा एक थीसिस लिया, उसके स्टार्टिंग में मैंने ओपनिंग कोट्स लगाए और एंड में मैं क्लोजिंग कोट सीधी लगा देता हूं. डू यू थिंक एनीबॉडी विल बी एबल टू नो? और उसमें भी एक काम कर सकते हैं, वी कैन यू नो मेक देम इन वाइट फॉन्ट, ब्लैक फॉन्ट की बजाय. जैसे ये वाइट फॉन्ट में है मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन में, आपको देखा जानबूझ के वाइट रखा है. So normally what happens is even if you see in Microsoft Word, the background is white. So if you change the color of anything into white, it becomes invisible, right? So if I put the quotation mark in white font, what happens? This is invisible. Practically it is invisible, and the whole thing becomes quoted. So this is one monkey trick which people use. But my friends, this has been detected, and people now, our softwares now routinely tell us this is pura thesis quotation mein hai, please check. So this is what is happening. So do not do that. Only quote whatever is necessary. If it is a law, if it is something that is required, yes, do quote, take necessary permissions. Then what is excluded is all references, bibliography, table of content, preface, acknowledgement. This is all excluded from plagiarism. References and bibliography, understandable, right? Everybody writes it in the same way. There is for management, it is APA style, and for every publication, there is a defined sequence of how the author's name will appear and things like that. I'm sure Professor Carr probably, if he'll be deliberating on this only, so then he'll definitely tell you about in detail how this is to be done. Then table of contents, see, at least 60% of it will be same. Chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, references, bibliography, acknowledgement. This is all same everywhere. That does not need to be checked at all. Then acknowledgement, unfortunate but true. It is, most of the time it is not original. अपने दिल की बातें भी हम चुरा के लिख देते हैं. But that is how it happens. But more importantly, the generic terms, the ones which we are talking about, if it is on a law, like for example, if you are doing research on the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, then that law will be required to be quoted, and that will definitely be fetched up during the similarity check, and that cannot be considered as plagiarized. Then standard symbols and standard equations, these are also excluded from plagiarism. But mind you, all of this will be fetched as similar. So you'll have to make a judgmental call on that, and that is where exactly the supervisor's role comes in. Like for example, this sentence, no lions are noble beasts. This is a standard sentence, right? Everybody knows it's a generic term. So if you're utilizing that, you're not plagiarizing, but it will definitely pop up in the similarity search. Then if there is some law, that will also pop up. If there is a standard equation, like for finding out the t-value, students t-test, yes, you'll have to use this formula, and you'll have to write this formula, and this will definitely pop up during your similarity search. But these are excluded. Mind you, these are excluded. All right. So what are the levels of plagiarism that has been defined? There are 4 levels. The first level is up to 10%, which is incidental, which is not intended. Hence, it is allowed. Then there is level 1. This is basically because of carelessness. This is because of failing to paraphrase. It is between 10 to 40%. Then this is where, you know, people are really plagiarizing. This is the point where your originality is not there. This is a serious level. And then this is like, you can have a Korali Gunda Badmash wala category hai. सारा का सारा उठा के दे दिया, हम देख लेंगे, अब जानते हैं हमारे पिताजी कौन है, वो वाला situation. All right. So with these 4 levels, there are 4 situations and there are 4 different types of penalties which are associated. Up to 10%, as I said, it is allowed. So there is no penalty associated. But up to 10 to 40%, the student is required to revise the manuscript and within a stipulated time period. But the UGC has not said period not exceeding. It has left to the individual institution. So you'll have to come up with a mechanism when you define what is the stipulated time period. UGC does not want to impose. Then there is a level 2, which is 40 to 60%. The student is debarred for a period of 1 year from submitting. And for those dabangs, which is about 60%, registration is cancelled. But this is very, very rare. This is common. This is fairly common. So most of us should be aware that this is where most of us would land. Intentional, unintentional, both covered. Now, the question is, how do I prevent plagiarism? First and foremost important is consult your teacher, consult your supervisor. Pata nahi, this is something which I felt. But do you really think? अब हमारे supervisor तो काफी पुराने ज़माने के हो गए. So whether he'll have this, whether he'll have enough understanding about this, I don't know. But then still, that experience of guidance remains with them. So do consult your supervisor. And most importantly, this is the area which we have been neglecting. We'll have to plan our paper, we'll have to plan our thesis. The planning part for most of the researcher is lacking. So start doing that. This is a skill which is now vanishing. अब notes कोई बनाता नहीं है, पहले बनाया करते थे, and making notes was entirely a way of paraphrasing. आप imagine कीजिए आपके टीचर लेक्चर दे रहे हैं and you are noting it down. अब verbal communication और written communication में difference तो रहेगा. So what you write is out of your mind, whatever you have heard. बहुत कम लोग हैं जिनका फोटोग्राफिक मेमोरी होता है, फोटोग्राफिक वो होता है एक बार सुनने के बाद पूरा का पूरा जस का तस उतार देते हैं, बहुत कम लोग हैं. For most of us, for normal human beings, not talking about superhuman beings, what we do is we paraphrase. We write it in our own ways, in our own language, and that is the key to survive. All right. Then whatever you do, from whichever source you utilize the material, do cite. And very importantly, make it clear who said what. Do not chew your own words and know how to paraphrase. I just told you how to paraphrase, but I'll again reiterate, the simplest way to paraphrase is not to use a software. There are softwares available. They do a good job. Then there are paraphrasing services, which is like 75 paisa per word. If you are rich enough, I don't care. This lecture is not meant for you. But for everybody else, you need to know how to paraphrase. And the way is very simple. Read the paper thrice. 3 reads. Keep the paper away and write. Whatever comes to your mind, grammar can be corrected. Grammar can always be corrected. But this is the way of paraphrase. This is how it is done. And then Very importantly, you should analyze and evaluate your own sources. The sources which you have utilized, you need to analyze it, whether it's a secondary source, right? Whether it is from a reputed source, whether it is from a web page which is likely to be there or which will, vanish off. You need to make a note of these things as well. पहले ये सब नहीं करना होता था, but unfortunately अब ये करना पड़ेगा. So this is the precaution I was talking about. You should always cite the quotes. Cite your own material. Do not be under the influence that this is my own paper, I do not need to do anything. No, please cite your own material as well. This will only increase your own bank balance. Abhi aapko maine bola tha, citations are your bank balance. So even if you are citing your own paper, this will increase your balance. And then for quoting, you need to have a clear idea about referencing, which is already taught in the coursework. So again, I am reiterating, provide proper references wherever it is required, even for photographs, diagrams, pictures, graphs, and maps. ये वाले वो sections हैं which people normally tend to forget, normally tend to overlook. छोड़ो यार, इसको कौन दिखता है? And paraphrasing again, it's not rearranging or replacing few words. And once you have done that, check originality before submitting the document. All right, this is very important. This will give you an insight of how original your document appears in the eye of the software. Fine. Now the question is, if I need to do that, how do I do that? So this is the point wherein your plagiarism detection software comes in. So this is one software which everybody is aware of, that's Turnitin. And one software which every Indian is using is not Turnitin. क्यों? Turnitin is a subscription-based service. बहुत पैसा मांगते हैं और हमारे पास पैसा तो किसी को देने के लिए होता नहीं है, तो we go for something which is freely provided. या तो free on web है या freely provided by the institution है. So free भी मैं आपको बताऊंगा अभी, और institutional access से most of you must have an access for Urkund. Now it is called Original. दोनों से आपको ये मिल जाएगा. And if by any chance your college or your university does not have that, you can contact InflipNet Center Gandhinagar. For getting this account. All right, so these are the softwares which are not free, but these are really very good. Turnitin we have already talked about, Urkund we have already talked about. Then this is Authenticate. Those who are actively publishing research papers, they must have come across this, and this is generally indicated as Authenticate score. So it is basically the score. This is a subsidiary of Turnitin only. So most of the research papers which are in SCI journals, they'll be screened through Authenticate, and you'll have a score. Most of the publishing house, they insist for less than 10%, and some do accept less than 30%. So plan your paper accordingly. Then this is something which a lot of us are already aware, Grammarly. Grammarly free, everybody is using, most of us are using. But Grammarly also, has a plagiarism detection tool, which you can utilize. But again, this is subscription based. You'll have to shell out money for this. Then you have another good software, that is Blackboard. But then not much of interest to any one of us because this will cost money. So let us look for some others. And what is the difference between all of these? Is basically about the sources. Right? So that is the major difference between all of these. So there are other open access plagiarism detection tools like Plagiarism Checker, Dupli Checker, Paper Rater, Plagiasma, Plagium, CopyLeaks, Plag Tracker, PlagScan. So the question that immediately pops up in mind is, are these as good as Turnitin, Urkund, Blackboard, Authenticate? The answer is no, they are not as good. But nahi mama say, what is available is what you'll have to utilize if you are not able to shell out money. And if you do not have subscription, you'll have to have something. So at least कुछ नहीं से कुछ भला, तो at least check your documents with open access plagiarism detection tools. और फिर इसी दिन के लिए दोस्त बनाए जाते हैं. आप लोगों को ये जमाने से पता होगा कि जब भी गाड़ी कीचड़ में फंसे दोस्त निकालते हैं, तो इसमें भी दोस्त बहुत मदद करते हैं. आपके जो भी फ्रेंड्स who are in institutions where all these are available, you can seek their help. You can get your papers checked by. But just a word of caution for Urkund, don't do this, because Urkund has a nasty habit of storing documents in its archive. What does that mean? The next time when you'll submit it to your genuine institution, if they use Urkund, what will happen is, since your document is already in archive, it will pop out 100% similarity. और 100% का आपको मैंने पेनल्टी बता ही दिया था, तो रिस्की हो जाता है. तो so don't do it with Urkund, but for any other you can definitely use. So get it checked through Turnitin, no problems, but do not get it checked through Urkund. All right, so let us move ahead. Subscription, there are for Turnitin, there are 3-4 different types of subscription. Those are available. One is consortium, which we are not interested at all. An institution, if it's a university, if like yours is a group of institution, so you can have a subscription of Turnitin as a group. Then if you have a rich department, like Department of Physics is rich, you can have a departmental subscription. And if you are, utterly bent upon that, no matter what, बाकी लोग क्या करते हैं मुझे कोई मतलब नहीं है, but I'll definitely make sure that I, will check it. Then you can go in for an individual subscription as well. The same is true for all others. For Urkund also, you can have a Urkund account, right? All right. So access levels, you have an administrator level, you have an instructor level, and then you also have a student level account. This is for masters and PhD both. So instructor is your supervisor. Administrator is responsible for the whole institution. So what this does is, instructor can create a class where students are supposed to submit their work, and even PhD scholars can be utilized. So what they can do is they can submit a document, get it checked, and if the level is high, they can resubmit the document. This is allowed with Turnitin. The same document can be resubmitted with the same document type. So in Turnitin especially, that problem of 100% in archive does not happen most of the times. Right? Let's move ahead. Now, this is something which I intentionally keep in every lecture wherever I talk about plagiarism. This is just to scare people off a little bit. थोड़ा भय बिन होतना प्रीति वाला किस्सा है, थोड़ा डराना जरूरी है. But these are all facts. So Harvard says, this is for 2012, that they are checking even the student submissions. 125 students may have cheated in their final exams. So this is another example, is the author of Kavya Vishwanathan, who avoided the breach of contract lawsuit with her publisher by returning advance she given her on the book. So imagine कीजिए, she has written a book and she knew she had copied a lot of materials. So the only way out for her was to return the advance. Then forget about United States, but this is really very painful affair which happened with DU Vice Chancellor Professor Deepak Pentu. It was about a student's work which had some content from a colleague's research, and he was put in jail for that. So this is the seriousness with which UGC is talking about. So I tried to put it in a lighter note, but believe me, this is not very simple. This is not very, chalta hai wala kissa nahi hai. This is something which is really there on the anvil. You'll have to be aware of that, and you'll have to take appropriate actions so as to surmount it. Okay. All right. So let us talk about the different types of plagiarism that we have encountered. One is cloning. नाम से clear हो जाता है क्या किया है. Then you have Control C. Next part आप लोग अपने मन में बोल चुके होंगे अभी तक. and that is control V. Control C and cloning में थोड़ा सा difference है. Cloning is absolute, बिल्कुल same to same, कोई difference नहीं है. Control C, what you have done is significant portion is from a source without alteration. The third is find and replace. जिन लोगों ने DOS command से काम करना शुरू किया था, उनकी उंगलियां माउस से ज्यादा कीबोर्ड पे चलती हैं. And Control F, Control R, or before you know the whole document is changed. So what you can do is you can change keywords and phrases, but you can retain the essence of the source. So that makes it stand out. Then हम लोगों को बहुत पसंद है remix, गानों में हो या academic उसमें हो. So what you do is you paraphrase from multiple sources. आपका language skills जो बहुत अच्छा था इंग्लिश में 99, 95 आते थे out of 100, वो यहाँ काम में आता है. And you make it fit as if it is your original. Beautiful, बहुत बढ़िया तरीका है, लोग करते हैं और बहुत सुंदर लगता भी है सुनने में. Then this is not for the students, but this is for all the supervisors. This is recycling. What we do is we are not taking it for someone else. We are utilizing our previous work, but we are not giving any citations. हमारा पहले का किया हुआ काम है. अब साहब इतने सारे publications चाहिए promotion के लिए. What do I do? इतना सारा administrative responsibility. How do I manage so many publications? So the simplest way is to dig deep into your own archive and see, oh, कौन सा portion published नहीं है, और ये table published नहीं है, but most of it is already published. So what do? I recycle. I utilize most of my previous work without even citing, and that does it. Then comes the latest technology of hybrid. Perfectly cited sources, copied passages, दोनों हैं, लेकिन जो cited sources हैं वो copied से ज़्यादा भी हो सकते हैं, बराबर भी हो सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. All right, then we have a mashup. This is like it is mixing copied material from multiple sources. ये बहुत interesting है. This is what is called as 404 error. आप लोगों ने देखा होगा. Sometimes when you are trying to visit a web page, it returns you a 404 error. That means the page you are trying to look for is no longer valid, and that is what is called as a 404 error. And the relevance that we have for it in our case is that we are including citations which are non-existent. है ही नहीं ऐसा source, inaccurate है. तो आपने किया क्या? Copy किया है, but उसका source मनगढ़ंत बना दिया. You have made it up. That is a 404 error. Then you have what is called as aggregator. Proper citation है sources से, but कोई original काम नहीं. Everything is cited, but कोई original काम नहीं है. This is also not allowed. Then this is retweet. Proper citation है, but then original writing wording structure से बहुत closely match करता है. That is what is called as retweeting. So these are 10 different ways of ways which are resorted to. Then there is one more but is available on the YouTube. आपको एक तो बता ही दिया था, monkey tricks quotation. The second trick is again with find and replace. So what you can do is you can choose like a word that comes very often, maybe a conjunction like and put a I in front of and. This is again in white. So what happens if on the visible eyes it is and, it looks like this only, but in reality it is this. And the whole sentence and the structure changes. The software is not able to make head or tail of what it is, and it says, oh, this cannot be, kachरे को कैसे बोलेगा plagiarized, right? But it appears, absolutely fine. So this is another monkey way of doing it. Then there is another very smart way of doing it, and that is converting text to image. Now, once you convert text to image, what happens is everything appears normal, but nothing is readable to the machine. But this is also, resorted to. बिल्कुल 0% plagiarism आता है क्योंकि machine को कुछ पढ़ने में ही नहीं आता. But believe me, all of these are taken care of. we are now, as I told you, we use AI. तो यदि आप conjunctions change कर रहे हैं, voice change कर रहे हैं, grammar change कर रहे हैं, quotes लगा रहे हैं, ये white spaces ले रहे हैं, white characters ले रहे हैं, text to image convert कर रहे हैं, we get everything. तो in essence कहना आपको message ये pass करने की कोशिश है कि no matter what you do, please put your hard work in originality, not in monkey tricks. This won't work. This is for where intention is to plagiarize. But then there will be instances where there is no intentional plagiarism, but then it comes up. So that is the point which cannot be, in my opinion, it cannot go beyond 20-30%. Unintentional चीजें कैसे 20-30% से ऊपर हो सकती हैं? You can imagine. So that is the place where you'll have to rectify, rewrite. So this is just a screenshot of how it looks like. You can immediately make out clone है या नहीं है, बिल्कुल है साहब, जैसा का तैसा, कुछ भी change नहीं है. This is clone. This is Control C. So what we have done is we have selectively taken out pieces from the original source, put it in. एक जगह conjunction change किया, एक जगह preposition change किया, and we are thinking it is good, it is not. Then find and replace. What we have done is indigenous we have replaced it with native. दोनों का name same है. Thesaurus इसी दिन के लिए बनाया गया था. And you can see that we have a new text. But unfortunately, the software is dumb. It does not recognize it as new. It says it is same. Damn you. कोई बात नहीं. Then this is remix. दो तीन अलग-अलग sources से what we have done is we have copied, we have pasted, and we think it's new. The software thinks otherwise. Buddhu software है. Then this is recycling. हमारा ही है. This is my own. What I have done is I have utilized it for writing another paper with a little bit of change. So this is recycling. Unethical है. Main problem with recycling is that it is unethical. And unethical काम करना ठीक नहीं है. And this is also reported. Software पता लगा. This is hybrid. जितना भी highlighted portion है वो यहाँ से आया है और non highlighted portion दूसरी जगह से आया है. और देखिए आप हमने citations दिए हैं. Everything is here. So not very good. Then let us come to the next one. Okay, this is mashup. 4 source, 5 source, सब जगह को लिया, सबको mix कर लिया, and you have a new document. So you think it is not new at all. Everything can be picked up. 404 error. ये जो आपके यहाँ पे references हैं, most of them do not exist. The sense says if you have given proper citation, it is not plagiarized. So जब भी ये pick up होगा, the student will always come to say, sir, मैंने सारा references दिया हुआ है. So how can you call it plagiarized? But then none of these sources exist. So that is a 404 error, and this is not allowed. Aggregation, बात हो चुकी है. चलिए, this is retweeting. थोड़ा बहुत change किया है, more or less the same. All right, so these are 10 different ways people have. This is about for those who do it intentionally. आप लोगों को ये बताने के पीछे औचित्य ये है कि ऐसा होता है. So you be aware of it. आपके students कभी ऐसा लेके आ जाएं, so you should be aware of what students think and the ways those are available to them. All right. All right, so this is how a Turnitin report looks like. On every highlight, there will be a number. And the moment you click that number, it will show you the publication from where the similarity has been obtained. So this is the paper. And this also gives you the amount of similarity from the source. So 13% of this document similarity has come from this source. Overall 18% hai. 13% is from this source. This also tells you one very important thing, that if you correct this, most of it is like 5%, which is already below the threshold. All right. Now let us talk about Urkund as well. Now Urkund, I'm intentionally including Urkund. The reason is Urkund is what is available to most of the universities. So these are the two softwares which are most routinely utilized and used in the universities. That is why I have intentionally added Urkund. Urkund is again just like Turnitin is an online text matching tool. Mind it, it's a text matching tool. That means if there is something in image in non-Unicode, it will not read. So this is also a strategy that is utilized. If by any chance there is a possibility that you can write the thesis in vernacular, like you can write it in Hindi, Bangla, Urdu, whatever, then if the font utilized is non-Unicode, what will happen? The system will not be able to read it. So does that entail, does that mean that if the system is not able to read it, it will pass it on as not plagiarized? Unfortunately, no. It will give you a warning. It will simply give you a warning that the portions are unreadable and you need to look at it. I had encountered a situation where the thesis had only 70 words and the pages were 400. You can understand what it was. It was only the page number and the running title. Everything else was in image format. So this is also happening. So what Urkund does is like Turnitin, it checks in the internet, on the archives and the databases, and it reports, again, I'm telling you, it reports only similarity. The judgment that whether that similarity amounts to plagiarism or it is original, that remains with two people. One is the supervisor and the chairman of the committee. These are the two guys who are responsible for looking at it. So let us, my suggestion would be that for your institution at least, get these committees made up, at least raise a request that these committees be taken up. And the most important point is this, you should always keep in mind that this matching process generally for English language document takes about 15 minutes. But for documents in vernacular, it takes up to 48 hours. So if your registration is ending 3 days, in 3 days time, you need to plan in advance. Last दिन आप जाके इसको check कराने जाओगे so. I have had this encounters many times. Sir, आज आखिरी दिन है. जो होगा आर या पार. So don't get into that. You should be aware that at times it will take time, and that is about 48 hours. So please be aware of it and plan accordingly. So this is how the Urkund analysis looks like. Essentially, we have 4 quadrants to it. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and then this is toolbar, which is very important. So the first quadrant gives you the text match report summary. It gives you when it was uploaded by whom, what is the amount of similarity, and this similarity is color coded. So greater the amount of similarity, darker is the color. That means with 100% similarity, the color will become black. And with 0 similarity, it will become green. Now the second one, the second quadrant has the list of sources that contains text that Urkund has matched up to the submitted document. The third quadrant is about the text that was matched. That means it is your document that was utilized. And the fourth one, very importantly, the highlight that you get is again color coded, and the proportion of the highlighted text that matches in the identified source. Then on the fourth quadrant, you have the details of the source of text that is highlighted. Then you get these colored strips that reveal the text which has been found similar. And the color, again, intensity depends on the similarity. For a low similarity, it will be light colored. For high similarity, it's dark colored. Very intuitive, very simple. एक झलक में आपको clear दिख जाता है. Now, the question again is again the same thing, that you will, if this is 100% matching. Now, whether it is plagiarized, student को पसीना आ जाता है ये देख के कि ये तो मैंने खुद लिखा था, how does it pop up? But then you'll have to make a sound judgment that why is it being shown as, similar. So this is, all, I think, yeah, this is the website for login on to Orkun. And then if you want to learn more on how to use Orkun, it is now, as I told you, so original. You can get to this website where all guides and tutorials are available. There are even videos which are available. You can see through those videos. And in case you have any issues, I can be of assistance as well. You can write to me at tushar.banerjee@gmail.com. I'm the administrator for PDS in DAVP. And I have been handling more or less, all these issues for the whole of MP. So, in case you need any assistance, I'll be happy to assist you. So now I think what we can do is we can get into the question and answers if you have any.
So, thank you, sir. And now I understand.
Shomik sir, your voice is echoing. Shomik sir, your voice is echoing. It's not clear.
Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Ma'am, please.
Yes, yes.
So, once again, sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you, sir. That is a very good session. And now to understand why we have been start with such an honor as a educator. To say complex things.
Shomik sir, I would request you to kindly disconnect your headphone because your voice is echoing a lot.
Is it fine now?
Still echoing.
Yes. Is it fine now, ma'am?
Okay, let me take it from here. Tushar, there is a question. In the introduction part, the definitions of concepts would also be similar. Would they also be considered as generic terms?
When we say concepts, generic concepts are not included, as I told you. If there is a generic concept, we'll not consider it as plagiarized. If it is utilized, we'll allow it. But yes, if it's a concept note on something like, let me take you to the COVID situation, where I come up with a concept note, a concept of diagnosing COVID-19 using, say, Raman spectroscopy, which is not hitherto known. And if you're utilizing that, yes, that will be considered as plagiarism.
Okay, there's one more question which says that is the literature review chapter excluded from plagiarism?
No, sir, it is not excluded. Absolutely is not excluded, nor your introduction is excluded. Literature, when we say literature review, can you hear yourself? You are reviewing it. And when you are reviewing it, can it be copied? Should it be copied? No, it has to be reviewed. आप रिव्यू करते हैं पूरा, सपोज कीजिए सलमान की एक मूवी आई है और उसका आप रिव्यू करते हैं, तो आप पूरा मूवी तो नहीं लिख देते ना. What do? You talk about its highlights, its high points, its low points, what is good, what is not so good. And that is what exactly review of literature means. It will be, you know, basically discussing various aspects of the topic that you are dealing with. It cannot be a copy paste. It cannot be. And sorry, it cannot be excluded.
Okay. So we
There
have
is
one last question from the participant with code number 81. Sir, I have unmuted you. You can please ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my question is that as you told that to avoid plagiarism, one way is that we can convert the text into image. So then what we will write the source? As you know that all the figures and the diagrams, we have to mention the source. So what we will write the source there?
Just a small correction. I said that is a monkey trick which people utilize. It is not recommended that you should do it. It is what people try. People think that by converting image into text, you can get through it. But, you know, it does not go through. The software,
We should not do this.
we should never do it. See,
Okay.
we are not trying to hide something. We are trying to, you know, work hard. Rather, we'll try to, you know, use something which is original. And doing all this only, you know, creates problem for you. There are still some more ways of doing it, which are again unethical, which are not detected by the softwares these days. But I guarantee you that in the future iterations of the softwares, those things will also be picked up. Imagine what will happen if after 10 years of your PhD, somebody points out that, you know, 20% of your thesis is from X and Y source. People have lost their jobs.
Oh.
So, you know, there is no shortcut available, ma'am. We'll have to, you know, be original in situations where originality is required. And research is.
And sir, one more question, sir. Why, as we know that sir, Urkund has a nasty habit of recording in its archives, then why sir, its use is it's so much used in universities? We can use Turnitin and other software, but we all know that sir, Urkund is used mostly.
See, ma'am, when we initially started the search for a plagiarism detection tool,
Yes,
the
sir.
government of India, we, you know, we had floated a global tender. Turnitin also participated, but as is the case, आप जितने भी government departments में देखेंगे, we go by the L1, and we went for L1, and Urkund came L1. वो हमने purchase किया है, आपने नहीं किया है, government ने purchase किया है, and it is being distributed free of cost to all of you. Now the question why Turnitin does not keep it in its archive and Urkund does, Turnitin also does it. But then Turnitin gives you a opportunity of excluding it on the face of it. Urkund does not give you that facility on the face. It is there, it is available, but it is buried so deep down that 99% of the users will not be able to find it. And there is a business opportunity that is embedded in it. See, a software is good enough only to the extent where it finds, right? So, jitna bada database hoga, and every database, every access of database costs you money. So, if Urkund's database is large enough and it is growing by the day, what is happening is they are earning by the day. So, they have given the software at a low price, but now they are earning it from the other source. And if you are not satisfied with Urkund, what you can do is you can convince your college administration or university administration to purchase Turnitin. But then take it from me, Turnitin is also not cheap. Turnitin is pretty expensive.
Yes.
All right, but there is a way out. I'll tell you there is a way out. If you upload something to Urkund, and then you want to upload something to Urkund, what you can do is you can contact your administrator. The administrator has got the powers to remove a document that has been uploaded. तो हमारे इसमें भी हम करते हैं, PhD thesis जमा हुआ, 14% आया. Now 14% is not acceptable. So what we do, we advise the student to revise the thesis, and we give them the links that whatever has popped up, we definitely help them out. And then once the student is ready with the revised document, we do delete the first upload, and this solves the problem. So there is a way out.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Nilanjana ma'am, is my problem solved? Is my sound
Yes.
okay
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, now it's okay. We have one more question in the chat box. Do we have time for that?
Absolutely, sir. I'm here for this only.
So this is a question which says that, sir, if I choose a topic for my thesis, how to know that others have not taken this topic or already someone has done thesis in this topic?
In the age of internet, this is a redundant question. See, if you are picking up a topic, all you need to do is, throw it on the internet. You'll immediately know how many people have already worked on it. This is so simple. Plus, I'll let you know one more initiative from Government of India. This is again from InflibNet, and this is called Shodh Chakra. And this is being unrolled very soon. And what will happen is, this is a unified platform for all of this content. This is an integrated platform wherein you can put your topic, and that Shodh Chakra will help you in identifying who else in the country is working on this topic. If there is an exact similarity or difference, that it will tell you. It will allow you to survey literature. That means it will allow you to access publications which are otherwise paid and expensive. It will also allow you to check your plagiarism. It will allow you to figure out journals which are in your domain and which are like free, subscribe, paid. So this is again an initiative from the Government of India to help the research scholars out. And your problem with Shodh Chakra, I'm 100% sure will be eliminated.
So thank you, sir, for patiently answering all the queries of the participants. I would like to request Dr. Shalini Singh, Assistant Administrator Ma'am of our college, to give the vote of thanks. Shalini Ma'am is here.
Sir, I would request you to call Manisha ma'am for the vote of thanks.
Okay, we can do so. If ma'am is not there, then I request Dr. Manisha Singh, Academic Head of our institution, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shomik sir. Good afternoon and Jai Hind to all of you. Thank you, Professor Tushar sir. It was a great session where you have informed us about the small aspects of the plagiarism and the important thing, how we prevent our content as well as the research from it. Sir, you rightly said that this is a technical era and we must know about the plagiarism. Just not only it is unethical, but it is punishable too. So if we want to save ourselves, if we want to make a standard of our research as the standard, as the international level, so we must know about it. So thank you very much, sir, for giving all such information. And the important thing is that how we prevent ours. So thank you once again. Over to you, Tushar.
Thank
Shamik.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah,
ma'am.
I'm there. Sorry, Shomik. I got disconnected.
Yes,
On
ma'am.
behalf of Sanvi Women's College, Varuna, I would like to thank Dr. Tushar Banerjee for such an informative session. Thank you, sir, for the session, and looking for such more sessions for my professors. Thank you so much for taking out your time.
It was a pleasure. All the best to all of you, and for the remaining session of your FTP. I wish you all the success. May the college and the institution grow leaps and bounds. So the next time when I, come to your institution, not in a virtual but in a physical way, I'll be able to
Sure.
share that more. Thank you very much. Namaste, Jai Hind to all of you.
Jai.
Thank you, sir. Once again. So once again, for the participants, you are requested to fill up the feedback and the attendance link which have been posted, and kindly switch on your camera so that we can have a virtual photograph. Done.
Sir, just a second.
Okay, just 1 second more.
It's done. It's done. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So that's it for the day. We meet again tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.